Hey everyone! Nutrition 101 is happening. I'm so excited to go through this with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. What I love about nutrition and doing this, I've done probably in the last 10 years, one of these every other month. So think about how many times I've actually done this webinar. I could almost do it in my sleep. But today I was inside and our dogs were outside, and I just laughed because I went outside because I had given them a bone and I took it away because Echo, one of our dogs, if he has something, Rue comes in and tries to take it away. Like they can't share toys, they can't share anything. And I laughed because I took the bone away and I put it on top of our golf cart. And I have a video of it so that you can see. It was crazy because it made me think about, like, this is sometimes what we do with food is like it's hidden, and this might actually be what some of you do with your food. So let me make myself a little smaller here and make this bigger so that you can see. We'll do it that way. This beautiful dog stealing some food. So that's Echo. He's on our golf cart. At the very top right here, this is the bone. I put it right there at the top. And wait 10 seconds. He's like, I really, really want that. I really, really want it. I'm going to do whatever I can. And he sneaks the bone right off of the top of the golf cart. I couldn't even believe it. And I was like, this is what nutrition sometimes can be like. Is like we have that one thing. Maybe we know we shouldn't get it. It's up at the top. We're reaching for it. We grab it. And then here we are. And that's why I'm excited to do this with you guys. So just a little self-check and a little funny to just kind of start us off. But when you think about your nutrition, also, if you're on here, please engage. There's comments, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Let me know that you're here, where you're from. Say hi, what your name is, because you could be anywhere in the world right now listening to this and watching it. So let me know in the comments, because I will have a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions as we're going through, I've saved time at the very end so we can answer any questions that you might have as we go through. But the first place where we're going to start is your own self-check. Where are you at right now with nutrition? You might say it's so important, and you tell everyone it's super, super important. Your nutrition is the key to your health, but prove it. Like, is that really what's happening right now? If you really want to know like what's important to you, all you need to do is look at your time, like your schedule and what you're putting on there. And also when it comes to like even where you're putting your money and your finances, like how much time and energy and money do you actually spend on the food for you and your family to eat? Do you put thought into shopping and planning your meals? Like, are you willing to go source good quality nutrients? Like, if you say it's important, are these things actually happening? And if they're not, my hope is that by the end of this, that you will begin to put those things first and truly put your money, put your time where your priorities are. So let's go start with our mindset. We can't talk about all the things we should and shouldn't eat because a lot of you know that. A lot of you know what you should and shouldn't eat, but what's keeping you back is right in between here, right inside of your mind. So put in the comments, like, what are some of these barriers that you have? Like, what are some of the limiting beliefs that you have? Like, what are some of the thoughts that you have when it comes to nutrition? Put them in there and we'll go through them. I have a few that are right here. One of the biggest things that I'm getting right now is a lot of it has to do with just like, there's just so much information. Like I met with a girl today And she was like, I tried keto. And I was like, well, how was it? And she's like, I gained weight. And you're like, she is like, other people are losing weight. Like, is keto good for me? Is it not? Do I do a juice cleanse? Do I detox? Do I do paleo? Do I do Whole30? I've tried those things. It doesn't work for me. Well, really, there is so much information out there. Like, there's thousands of books. There's plenty of YouTube channels. There's plenty of programs, plenty of schools of thought that people have when it comes to certain things. I want you to know that by the end of the day, like, you will have a step-by-step plan and program that's not based off of should I do this and should I not do that. It gives you the baseline of what it comes. This is basic nutrition 101 to help lead you and guide you in what you need to have to ensure that you have successful nutrition. You know, some of the other things that people say is they just feel so deprived. I have a wonderful friend and she's like, oh, why can't I just eat everything and that nothing would affect me? And I'm like, I really wish that could be the case. But when you use the word diet, a lot of times that is associated with deprivation. You like feel like you're left out. I mean, if we're honest though, like everyone loves their cookies, their cakes, their all of it. Like, you love those things, the French fries. But the reason is we have to get our mindsets right when it comes to that. I eat healthy 90 to 95% of every single, like every day. Usually it's healthy. It's usually on the weekends or it kind of goes off. But in the weeks, like 95% of my week is completely healthy. Most of the time, though, we're going into 98 and 99% because here's the thing. I don't feel deprived. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I just have a big why of why I want to do this. It's bigger than anything else. And I don't feel deprived. I don't feel left out. I don't feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick just because I want to be healthy. The other thing, short-lived goals. This can be tough because sometimes we're doing this because we want to lose 10 pounds. If your intention is to just lose 10 pounds, guess what will happen? You might lose the 10 pounds, but will fall right back into the old habits that we had before. So we need more meaningful goals. We need bigger whys of why we are doing this. Another big break or mental barrier that people have to break through has to do sometimes with money. You know, it costs so much to eat healthy. And listen, I know that it costs more to do grass-fed beef than it does conventional beef. Like, I understand that. Where we're coming from when it comes to budget things, you will pay for it in your health one way or the other. When I am at the end of this, I'll give you tips on how to make things healthier and how to look for the cheaper options when it comes to like how to budget so that it doesn't cost you so much. But here is the reality. Healthy food costs pale in comparison to what it does for medical bills. So your investment in your health when it comes to spending the time and the money for your health will be spent regardless of whether you do it now to keep your health or whether you do it later when you're trying to get your health back. And then the last one that I want to talk about really has to do with unsustainable diets. You know, I love Whole30s. I love paleo. It gives you a guideline. It gives you a path. It helps you stay within a course of just eating whatever. But a lot of those things, they are very unsustainable, especially when it comes to like counting calories and cutting back on things. Like, that is very hard and difficult to sustain long term. So that leads into past failures. Like, you may have tried a lot of things. You may have tried every diet that there is, from vegan to vegetarian to paleo to Whole30, and you still carry that stuff. And I want you to just, before we get into the nitty-gritty of things, I want you to just take all that stuff off and just say, I'm starting with a brand new slate. Everything that I've done in the past, all the failures that I've had, I am starting clean today. I'm not going to carry any of that with me, and we are going to go forward. So that doing that, you have to now establish a value system. Because right now, over 90% of the diseases Americans face today are caused by lifestyle habits. We have to begin to set a good example. So much so that your actions speak so loudly that they cannot hear what you say. That if nutrition is this important to you, create this value system for you and your family. Are you guys ready? Don't forget to comment if you have some, yes, I get it. Like, that's awesome. I agree. I didn't know that. Like, please put it in the comments, because sometimes on these things, I do so much better when I know that there's people right in front of me and I can see you. So comments are the next best thing. So we're going to go through some true and false statements today. Some of it might shake your paradigm, but you're creating a new value system. We're creating a new way of thinking when it comes to nutrition. So let's start with this first one, true or false. What do you guys think? Counting calories is an effective way to healthy nutrition. Some of you are maybe like, I don't know, like all I've done is counting calories. But when you say is an effective way to healthy nutrition, and then I see 22 almonds, 153 calories, one Twinkie, 150 calories, there's probably going to be a catch, and there is. So your caloric intake, it takes a back seat to the quality of the food that you eat. The quality is the driver. Calories, they take a back seat, and nobody likes a back seat driver. Weight loss is not a game of calories in and calories out. The quality of your calories is the key. So obviously, eating 22 almonds builds your brain. It is healthier for your body. It decreases inflammation. While you have a Twinkie actually increases inflammation, increases your blood sugar, and doesn't create health inside of your body. So counting calories is an old way of thinking when it comes to healthy nutrition. But I also know it's still around, because I was on my way home from Spartanburg, South Carolina this past weekend, and there was a lady talking on the phone, and she was like, yeah, just eat 150 calories. That's it. All you do is like that simple. Only eat that, and that's all you have to do. And I was like, ooh, it's still around, so we have to continue to talk about it until it doesn't exist anymore. So here are the 3 things I'm going to go through today. You guys ready? If you're writing down, you're taking notes, this is the time to do it. We're going to go through each one of these things. So the 3 major dangers. This is what I want you to focus on when it comes to your health. Not counting calories, not counting macros, which isn't a bad thing, but it just takes a lot of time. But the 3 things that you want to take into consideration are too much sugar, too many toxins, and not enough good fats. So let's start with why. The biggest reason why you want to make sure that these are balanced out and you're doing a good job is because of that I word that you see right there. Inflammation. Inflammation is caused in our bodies, especially by sugar. So elevated glucose levels, elevated insulin levels, they try to get rid of all the sugar inside of your body and use it for energy. Toxins create inflammation because it's like a tear inside of our bodies every single time that it comes in, and damaged fats. Damaged fats add fuel to the fire when there's inflammation inside of your body. So in America, we are on a pretty crazy sugar high. We basically live high on sugar more than anything else. I think it's the worst legal drug that you can get anywhere all the time. And I did some new updated research, and it's kind of crazy. Adults on average consume 77 grams of sugar every single day. So they have guidelines. So for men, you are only supposed to have 9 teaspoons or 36 grams of sugar in your body at any one, like throughout the day at all. Women, we are 6 teaspoons and 25 grams of sugar each day inside of our body. So on average, we are getting double, almost triple the amount of sugar in our bodies than we're supposed to. This adds up annually to us consuming 60 pounds of sugar every single year. Where do you think the biggest sugar consumption is? Where do you think it comes from? Many of you might say like it's the snacks and the sweets and like those things, but it's not. It comes mainly from beverages. So soft drinks are the leading category. 25% of the consumption of sugar comes from soft drinks. So that's all your sodas. The next one's fruit drinks. The next one after that, sports and energy drinks and coffee and tea. Snacks and sweets are the second after beverages. So think about what this is also doing to our children. It's insane. And it's not just sugar where this is coming from, but it is also coming from our other source of sugar, which is high fructose corn syrup. So I was reading, and we know that those two are bad, but it's the number one source of sugar and calories, like high fructose corn syrup. That's what's inside of the sugary drinks and the soft drinks and the sodas. But this is high fructose corn syrup. I've heard more cases of fatty liver disease than I have in a very long time. The number one source of the cause of fatty liver disease is high fructose corn syrup. So it's coming from the stuff that we're consuming. So that is absolutely preventable. But it's also in things that we don't realize. Like the reason it's so prevalent is because we actually don't know where it's at in the food that we're eating, because it comes in pasta sauces, lunch meats, canned foods, ketchup, mayonnaise, pizza sauce, sauces, salad dressing. It's hidden literally everywhere. Do you know that Americans on average drink about 55 gallons of soda per year? Do you know that it takes 30 cups of water just to neutralize 1 cup of soda, 1 can of soda? It's destroying our body from the inside out. It's putting flame to the fire of inflammation inside of our bodies. It's feeding cancer cells. It's creating diabetes, obesity, all of that from as much sugar that we're eating. So is there anything worse than sugar? Yeah. As terrible as what we just talked about, there is something that's even worse than sugar. It is Splenda, artificial sweeteners. You know, A plus B equals C in everything that we do. But what happens is A plus B plus XYZ plus PDQ no longer equals C. And that's what happens with Splenda. Their slogan is, it's made from sugar, so it tastes like sugar. It's 600 times sweeter than sugar. And I mean, strictly speaking, that statement is true. However, by the time a single sugar molecule called sucrose, that molecule transformed into Splenda becomes something completely different. It actually has a chemical name. Are you ready for it? 1,6-dichloro-1,6-deoxydio beta D fructofuranosyl 4-chloro-4-deoxy alpha D galactoperoxidase. It becomes a chemical. And so when it becomes a chemical, it's no longer sugar. It is artificial. And what that does, there's serious problems with it. There's gastrointestinal problems, people having seizures, dizziness, migraines, blurred vision, allergic reactions, their blood sugar increases, their weight gain increases, and there's also a potential for cancer-causing problems when you cook it. So there is absolutely something worse than sugar, that I would much rather you eat sugar that we just talked about than having artificial sweeteners like Splenda, Sweet and Low, and Equal. We got to get rid of those completely out of our diets. Those are not giving any nutritional value to our bodies. So what do we use instead? Stevia is our go-to. Monk fruit is also our go-to. And also when it comes to sugar alcohols, erythritol and xylitol. Now, those, you got to be careful with sugar alcohols. They can sometimes cause some digestive disturbances if you're constantly eating them over and over and over again. We like stevia because it is a natural plant that doesn't spike your blood glucose levels, and it still should be used in moderation. Like, you still shouldn't use something that's healthy for you every single day of your life and every single thing that you do. In moderation, you can do things like honey and dates and maple syrup, but those still need to be used in moderation. Those are still sugar. They still raise your blood glucose levels up. I'm just going to check. Sometimes people have, I love it. Good job. False, 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 also false. So good. Soda. Good job, Marcy. Aaron, you guys got it right. Beverages. Yep. So good. You guys are crushing it. All right. Let's move to the next true or false statement. True or false? Fat makes you fat. What do you guys think? Here's the thing. Healthy fat is essential. So it's kind of like no, fat doesn't make you fat, but it has to be the healthy fat. It has to be the right fat in order for it to give us the health benefits that it needs. So what makes you fat are bad fats or unhealthy fats, sugars, and then your inability to burn fat from your body. So you're more of a sugar burner than you are a fat burner. So here's what we need to do when it comes to fats. First thing, we've got to nix this low-fat diet. We have more low-fat foods and low-fat diets than anywhere in the world, yet we have the highest rates of obesity than any other country in the world. Everything's going in the wrong direction. We're like, don't eat fat, but we're getting fatter. Yet before that, we were doing the opposite, where we're eating more healthy fats, like our grandmas and great grandmas all made food like that. Like they weren't massively obese like we are today. So fat is good for you. It is necessary. Everyone say necessary. It is necessary. It's the number one missing nutrient. You know, sometimes we'll say vitamin D is number one, but it's actually healthy fats that are missing more than anything inside of our diets. So fats, what do? They build our cell membranes. They absorb vitamins, specifically A, D, E, and K. They cushion vital organs. So we need some fat on our body. So we're never going to not be able to have some fats on our body. They protect us from extreme temperatures for having some fat on our bodies and also eating healthy fats. They also lower inflammation. And a big one for both men and women is they are the building blocks to hormones. So we want to make sure that we're building healthy hormones. And to do that, we have to have a good, healthy base of fat. They also allow for your cells to detox right through the cell membrane that it also builds. It's fat burning when it's conjugated linoleic acid. So there's specific healthy fats that help for fat burning. And they also help with brain function. Did you know that 70% of your brain is made up of fat and your nervous system? So we have to have healthy fats for us to be able to think clearly, to have great brain function, and for it to not shut down on us. Now, what are these healthy fats? So you're like, tell me what the healthy fats are. Just tell me what to do. Okay, I will. So unhealthy fats, you can see they are on the left side. So unhealthy fats, hydrogenated, partially hydrogenated oils, cottonseed oil, soybean oil, vegetable oils, trans fats like margarine and synthetic butters, and then rancid oils. So the word rancid means that at one time it was pretty good. And then through the processing of it or the heating of it or the making of it, it just went rancid or it went unhealthy. So a way that you know if you've taken a healthy fat and made it rancid is if it starts to smoke in your pan. That's when it just went rancid. That means that the bonds that hold it together just broke apart and something that was healthy became unhealthy. So a big one that you see there, canola oil, and the other one is vegetable oils. They are found in practically every single bread, cracker, cookie, and boxed foods that exist, and we want to stay clear away from them. Canola oil is made from genetically modified rapeseed oil. That is a rancid oil. We've been taught completely wrong when it comes to healthy fats and unhealthy fats. Most of us think that canola is just fine for us. It's not. It's not at all. So the alternatives, what do you do here? You're going to switch over to now using only healthy fats. These ones are not altered by man. They are the closest to the God-given way that it was made, that's what we want to put inside of our body. So extra virgin olive oil, avocados, coconut, raw nuts and seeds, real butter. We love Kerrygold butter. Raw butter is best. Raw cheeses, yogurts, grass-fed meats, eggs, whole milks, fatty fish, wild-caught salmon, anchovies, sardines. Like, those are amazing ways to get healthy fats inside of your body. So, side note, we only cook with avocado and coconut oil. Extra virgin olive oil, we do not heat. We do not cook with that because it has a low smoke point. When you use coconut oil and avocado oil, you can heat it up to like 450 degrees and it doesn't smoke or become rancid. So those are the two that we mainly cook with. All right. Let me check and see how you guys did on that one. So good. So good. Sharon, you got a fat brain. I love it. So good. Marcy was right on. Depends on what kind of fat. Nobody's getting by you, Marcy. Okay, true or false? The fat in meats causes heart disease, cancer, osteoporosis, and kidney disease. What do you guys think? This is another one where it's like false. Saturated fat is actually pretty beneficial to your body. It helps with cell membrane function. It's a preferred fuel for your heart. It's also very effective. It's anti-cavity, anti-plaque, and antifungal. And it also prevents the oxidation of cholesterol, which is the true cause of what heart disease is. So what's the problem? Why is there such a thing where you shouldn't eat meat? The problem is actually the conventional meat. It's how the meat is. So remember, we talked about the quality. We're going back to what is the quality of the food that we are eating? Do we know where it comes from? Do we know how it's made? If we don't, then we don't put it in our bodies. In conventional meat, there's a big problem with it. Two big problems. One's called biotoxic accumulation. So what they ate and what they eat is also what their body becomes. And so we don't want toxins to build up inside of their meat, and then we eat that, and then it causes more problems in our body. It's not the fact of what the meat that I was eating, it was how it was raised. It was how it was fed. It was what it was given. And that in turn changes the essential fatty acids that are part of it. So grain-fed beef, which is conventional meat, is when they look at their essential fatty acids of omega-3 to omega-6s, it is so out of balance. It should be between 2 to 1, 4 to 1 max. It's 20 to 1. That causes so much inflammation in that cow, in their meat. It changes that ratio. We eat it, then our bodies become so out of balance, causes inflammation inside of our bodies, leading to disease. That is why that study existed, is because they were not using grass-fed beef, free-range chicken, wild-caught fish. They were using the conventional grain-fed, terrible-fed animals. So that's what we want to do, is change over to our animal products first. If you really want to change your omega ratios and your inflammation inside of your body, if you feel inflamed all the time, you have to change your meats that you eat. Don't take a fish oil and not change your meats. Now, if you need to take a fish oil, there's nothing wrong with that, but change these first. So grass-fed beef, free-range chicken, wild-caught fish, and natural sources of dairy. We get ours from Tennessee Grass-Fed. We love them. They are in Clarksville. Phil Baggett, he's amazing. We've been to his farm. We get all of our meats and things from him and make sure that it comes from a good source. We get our wild-caught fish. We get it frozen from Costco because it's the best when it comes to cost. Sam's Club has amazing wild-caught fish too, but you always make sure that it says wild-caught as opposed to farm-raised. Eggs, pasture-raised. Pasture-raised eggs are the best that you can get, but the actual best are the ones in our office from the Hennon farm, where they all have all the great things inside, and they're only $4, which is really super great, and we're supporting an amazing farm. So you can also get the beef in our office too, if you didn't know that. True or false? Cholesterol causes heart disease. Maybe you've heard this one before. I love it. Somebody's like, depends. Cholesterol causes heart disease. Well, the answer is false. It's not cholesterol itself that causes heart disease. It's the oxidation of cholesterol that causes heart disease. More people have heart attacks with normal cholesterol rather than high cholesterol. There's a higher death rate with low cholesterol than high cholesterol. Cholesterol is necessary for creating hormones, for making bile acids and helping our body digest fats. For proper neurological function, you have to have cholesterol. For your body to heal, it takes cholesterol to be able to do that. It also helps to repair and protect your cells. So it's not cholesterol that is the problem. It's the oxidation of the cholesterol. Breast milk contains about 50 to 60% fat and a high amount of, you guessed it, cholesterol. Eat the whole egg, every part of it. There's a reason that it was made together. It's not meant to be separated. So eat them together. True or false? Now we're getting into toxins. True or false? The FDA and the USDA effectively protect the general public from dangerous products and toxins. What do you guys think? This one might be a little bit easier now to answer, but the answer is false. They do not. You guys, the system is broken. There are often hidden agendas that are executed at the expense of our own health. Right now, the FDA has approved approximately 3,000 food additives, preservatives, and colorings in our food. The average person ingests 150 pounds of additives every single year. Right now, the majority of all soy products, cotton products, canola products, and corn products are all genetically modified. They take a gene from a bacteria and inject it into soybeans to make them herbicide resistant or Roundup ready. The amount of things that they do with our foods, like frankenfoods and GMOs and pesticides, all these additives, the hormones, the antibiotics, these are allowed by the FDA and the USDA. 3 million tons of pesticides each year worldwide. More than 16,000 chemicals are used in production, and most have not even been tested on their toxic effects to humans. We have nitrates and nitrites in our foods, especially processed meats that keep them red, like hot dogs and bacon and lunch meats. They give it that fresh red color on the package. Do you know that it's banned in every other country besides the United States and New Zealand? The World Cancer Research Fund, they concluded that in 2009 that processed meats that have nitrates and nitrites are too dangerous for human consumption. It increases the risk of pancreatic cancer by 67%. So when it comes to toxic foods, we have to be aware of what is going on in our food. Last true and false before we get into the nitty-gritty of like, what do we do? True or false? You need 5 to 8 servings of grains every day for a healthy diet. What do you guys think? You guys are doing so good. Sharon's like, the system is so broken. You are so right. People are dying unnecessarily. You're so right. And that's why I'm doing this webinar. And I hope that you guys might share it with someone so that they can also have their lives changed, because we're lied to every single day. So the answer is false. I don't think I put many true statements in here today. Your body can get all the carbohydrates it needs from vegetables. Most of us are eating highly processed, hybridized, refined grains. Historically, the grains that are talked about in the Bible are not what is happening today. They are so processed. They are so weak. They don't have the oomph that it used to have, like in the einkorn. Like, it's all of that stuff is like not good anymore. But I'm going to tell you something more. It doesn't have to do a lot with grains. It has to do more with what they're sprayed with. And I alluded to it, is that they inject this bacteria to make things Roundup ready. So they inject these pesticides and herbicides into it. One of the biggest things that are sprayed on our grains that most people are sensitive to, they're not really sensitive to gluten necessarily. They're more sensitive to what's called glyphosate. And that glyphosate is Roundup is sprayed all over these plants. We eat them and we have an effect. Like, no duh. Like, that stuff's not supposed to be inside of our bodies. Here's what happens. On that left side, when it says control, that is what that's an intestinal lining, and that is normal. It should be nice and tight together like you see there. There's no splits in them. The lines are connected together. They're nice and put together. The one on the right, they had this in a petri dish and they put glyphosate in it. Look what happens. It literally destroys the gut lining, destroys it. And so then we wonder why we have so much leaky gut and digestive system issues that then lead to autoimmune issues and problems with our health, because instantly from eating things like that, we are creating leaky gut inside of our bodies. So when it comes to grains, I'm going to talk about what you can do with that, but they need to absolutely be organic, not sprayed, and have all the stuff in them that they need. Like, we'll talk about that in just a second. Isn't that crazy? Nuts. Last one. True or false? Eating healthy is boring, tasteless, and too hard to do. What do you guys think? You guys are doing so good. Big fat no. It's a big fat no. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be tasteless. I wouldn't be doing this if that's what it was. Like, it would be terrible if that's what it is. Like, you will have foods that you will love. I'm not going to teach you a diet. That doesn't make it long-term. It doesn't make it sustainable. It doesn't change your health. It doesn't increase vitality in your life or your body. So I don't want to teach you a diet. This is nutrition for life. You shouldn't feel hungry. You shouldn't feel deprived. You shouldn't just have to eat salads every single day. That is not how I think God designed us and made us. He made us so that we would love the world and have everything that we would want inside of it. And like he wants us to enjoy those things. But when you think about it, he gave us the foods that were the most natural. He didn't give us Chex Mix, and he didn't give us like Hidden Valley Ranch. Like, he gave us the stuff to make that, but not all the chemicals that come with it. So let's talk about what do we do. There are really two plans and two directions that I see people on. And the only reason has to do with if you have a disease process in your body, even the healthy things need to be set aside for a minute so that your body can recover. So there's the core plan and the advanced plan. In the core plan, this is nutrition for families. Like, if you are good where you're at, like, you can stay in the core plan. You can apply all that we just learned, which I'll tell you in just a second. Disease prevention, moderate weight loss. Kids can eat the core plan and they will be totally fine. They will love their life by doing that. Advanced plan. Now, this right here, there is a difference between these two. If you have problems with losing weight, if you have hormone issues, if you know that you have inflammation in your body, or you have a disease process inside of your body, or you're really wanting to lose weight, or you just need a whole overhaul, the advanced plan is what you need to do. Now, you would start with doing this for 30 days, but you might need to do it as long as it takes, like however long it takes for your body to fully heal. So let's break these down. What does the core plan mean? It's really those three basic changes that we talked about at the beginning, those dangers. We're going to change those. The first thing with sugars and carbs, you want organic, whole, and sprouted grains only. So no refined grains, no Wonder Bread, no, like, it needs to be sprouted grain bread. It needs to be, you can do sourdough bread, but organic and knowing where it comes from so it's not sprayed with glyphosate. No refined sugars. So nothing refined, nothing processed, and you can have all the fruit that you want. Protein, just replace your protein to a better quality protein. So if you're getting conventional, regular, don't look at what kind of chicken or beef that you do. Now you're going to look at it and get grass-fed beef, free-range chicken, wild-caught fish. Fats, you're going to switch over from those unhealthy fats and have healthy fats. So see how it's not really restricting. You're just now looking at the quality of the food that you're eating, and that's what you're going to put in your body. Now, advanced plan. I call this the 3 basic changes plus. So we're going to start from the bottom and then go to the top. Fats. I forgot a why, but it's all the same that was in the core plan. So remove all the unhealthy fats and replace them with healthy ones. Protein, same exact thing. Replace it so it's healthy. What's different is the sugars and the carbs. So on advanced plan, eliminate all grains, all of them. So gluten-free is not part of this. Sourdough bread is not part of this. All grains, pasta, rice, all of that is eliminated for a season. Why? Grains can still turn into sugar. When you eat grains, the saliva in your body, it starts to break it down and it instantly can turn into a simple carb to then be broken down into your body. Now, all sugars are off the plate too. So you can use stevia, you can use monk fruit, you can use xylitol, and you can use erythritol on advanced plan. The other part, fruits are limited to berries, grapefruit, Granny Smith apples, lemons and limes are in there as well. The reason is because those are the lowest on the glycemic index. So they're the ones that are high in antioxidants and they're low in sugar. So they're the more tart kinds, but you can have any and all berries, all grapefruits, Granny Smith apples, keep it to that. So we mainly eat advanced plan most of the time. I really don't buy any other fruits besides that on a regular basis. That doesn't mean I didn't have watermelon this summer at all. Like I absolutely did. I have pineapple every now and then, but those are what we keep as our basics at all times. So we're not raising up our blood glucose levels. So that means no grapes, like no bananas, no oranges, not on advanced plan. We don't want that sugar to increase any inflammation in our bodies and allow it to calm down in the inflammation category. It's also going to help you burn fat for fuel. So if you're not giving it sugar, your body's not going to burn the sugar. That's what it wants to, but you want it to burn fat, so you're going to get rid of the sugar. Now, let me just, I'll finish this out and then we'll do Q&A. Foods to avoid. Any food that contains processed carbs and sugars. Foods with artificial sweeteners. Foods that contain trans fats. Foods that contain chemicals and dyes and processed meats. We want to stay away from all of those things and replace them with what we know is actual food. Now, label reading to-dos and don'ts. This is where we can get a little bit confused. I brought 2 things with me today. 2 ranch dressings. So this one's Hidden Valley Ranch, fat-free, right here. I'll make myself a little bit bigger for this one so you guys can see. So Hidden Valley Ranch, fat-free. When I look at the label on the back right here, I look at only one thing. It is how much sugar is inside of this thing. Inside of here, there's 3. I'll tell you our rule of thumb. If there's 4 or more, we usually stick it back into the cart no matter what. Like I won't even go any farther. If it's less than 4, I just want to know what sugar is inside of there and I want to know the ingredients. So when I look at that, it just tells me whether or not I just stick it in the cart and don't look at it. If it's less, then I'm going to take a peek. So on this one, I looked and this is really backwards. 3. You can see that there. Then I'm going to go straight to the ingredients. That's it. I want to know the quality of the food. So I'm going to look water, buttermilk, corn syrup, maltodextrin, which is corn, sugar, modified cornstarch, garlic, sour cream, natural flavors, egg yolk, soy lecithin, artificial color, monosodium glutamate, which is MSG, lactic acid, disodium phosphate, potassium sorbate, sodium, EDTA to preserve freshness. So there's a lot of extra ingredients inside of here that this does not equal health. I don't care if it says fat-free and there's only a total of 30 calories per serving. I'm not eating this. This is not going in my body. So I don't buy it and I put it aside. Thankfully, however, there are brands that are good for you. So you can make it at home. You can make ranch dressing at home with all the ingredients that you know what it is, but sometimes you ain't got time for that. So Primal Kitchen, avocado oil. So I'm going to look how many total sugars, 0. This is my kind of dressing, but let's read the ingredients. Avocado oil, water, organic apple cider vinegar, organic egg yolks, sea salt, distilled or organic distilled vinegar, organic gum acacia, organic guar gum, cream of tartar, organic onion powder, organic garlic powder, organic lemon concentrate. So I know almost half of these, or almost, I know every single one of these ingredients. The guar gum helps it to emulsify. So that one, it's hard to get out sometimes of those, but that's what I'm going to buy instead, because I know every ingredient that's in it. I understand what it is. So I love Primal Kitchen. They're such a great brand when it comes to that. But these are the do's and don'ts. You can't be marketed to. All of this doesn't matter. Don't even care about the front. Who cares? I want to know what you are all about. They spend a lot of money to market to you so that you'll buy their product, but you want to know what is in the product. I want to know exactly what's going on inside of my body. So you've got to watch out for artificial sweeteners, colorings, dyes. What oil is it made out of? Is there sugars inside of it? How many toxins are in it? Those 3 major dangers are where you're looking. So then that way you don't get duped. Shopping. Plan meals ahead of time. Okay? For the week. Take a list to the grocery store, or I order my stuff off of Instacart. So when I go to the grocery store, I'm not tempted to buy other things and put it in my cart. Dr. Michael's not usually allowed to go grocery shopping with me because so many other things go into the cart that are not supposed to be in there. Keep the basics stocked. All those healthy fats, we have them at all times. We have little canisters that have raw nuts and seeds inside of them. So we always can have them whenever we're putting them on chia seed pudding or on top of our salads. We have them always. Spend more time planning and shopping rather than cooking. You don't need to cook forever. Plan things out so it makes it super simple and easy. Read every label and then use the pesticide guide. I'm going to put this into the comments so that you guys have it. This is how you save money. You don't have to buy everything organic. Every year they have a pesticide guide of those produce that have the most pesticides in them and the least pesticides. The ones that have the least amount of pesticides, buy those conventional. Those that have the most pesticides, buy those organic so that you can save money. Okay? That's what we do. And then here's the last part before we close. Establish why you're doing this. Why do you want to change the food that you're eating? Why would you take time to plan what's happening for your family? Why would you take time to learn about reading labels of every single thing before it goes in? You matter. Your family matters. Your family wants you around for a long time. I want to be around for a long time for my family. So this matters. Start thinking of food as fuel and sustenance, not just a means of like, I'm hungry, I just need to eat something to satisfy my hunger. This is fuel for your body. Add more healthy, nutrient-dense options. That's what I like to say. It's not like what can't you have anymore. Add in the healthy fats. Add in the non-conventional meats like the grass-fed beef. Add that in to what you're already doing. Take away more unhealthy items little by little. Get rid of it all. Get rid of the unhealthy fats. Get them out of your kitchen. Get them out of your cupboard. Get them out of your fridge. Spend time planning and shopping. Keep a food journal if you need to. 7 days, breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything that goes in your body. Take a look and see what's happening. Let me see if there's any questions here. I love it, Sharon. You do matter. You guys crushed it. Look at you. False, false, false. Way to go. So good. Any questions that you guys have? I covered it all. Okay, I'll check again before we go, but I just want to say, don't miss the next opportunity. If you want your friends or your family to be in our office, or if you're listening and you haven't been into our office yet and you would like to, our next event is Friends and Family Day. It's on September 7th. And those of you that are patients, if you want to make your visit on next Wednesday, we're also doing like a patient appreciation day with it. So if you've been in the office, we've kind of decorated with some things. We're going to have a picnic. We'll have coffee in the morning for all of you. We're so excited to have Emily Austin come out, and she has her coffee cart, and she will be giving you guys coffee for free. We're also going to have treats from Diane and a lot of some fun games. But Friends and Family Day is on September 7th. So the initial consultation and exam for coming into our office is just $60. That includes everything for your first visit. And friends at People Loving Nashville. We love them. The QR code is there if you want to scan it, or you can go to our website and also schedule that time, or reach out to Myra at our office. You can do that. And then the next event coming up is Saturday, October 8th from 9 to noon. It's the big one. It's a Saturday. Anytime we do a Saturday workshop, we do them twice a year. It's going to be incredible. I will just say that. It's all on your immune system and building it up. I think we've realized how important our immune system is, and that we can absolutely do it naturally. One of them is the foods that we eat and the toxins that we have inside of our bodies that we need to get out. But we're going to talk to you about building a titanium immune system, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. We'll talk a little bit about cancer, autoimmunity. So make sure you guys get signed up. You're the first people to know. We don't even have flyers in the office yet. So those of you that are listening, you can be the first ones to register. It is open on Eventbrite, but you'll start to see things in the office for that as well. All right. I love, okay, Marcy said raw cheese versus regular cheese. So raw cheese is how they process it. So regular cheese is pasteurized, which means it's heated up to 1,000,000 degrees, and then it breaks things down and you make cheese out of it. Raw cheese, they heat it up really super low, and it's not destroyed in the pasteurization process and the processing process. And so, for example, for me, if I eat regular cheese, I have phlegm, and I have I cough, and it's terrible. Like I'm sneezing, my nose is completely stuffed. Like I can sometimes feel it in my joints from just eating regular cheese. But when I eat raw cheese, because of how they pasteurize it, and it still has good nutrients in it that we can benefit from, I have none of that happen. So that's why raw, the closest to how it was made and came from the cow, is how we want to eat or drink milk products, if that's what you do. I actually don't do that. We pretty much don't eat dairy or drink dairy. We're more like the coconut milk, almond milk, no dairy type of people, just because that happens to me, and I just do a whole lot better without it. But you see a difference if you do raw versus conventional. All right. I love you all. Have the best night. It was so good to see you. Oh, Kira, hi. We miss you. Ellen's going to try some raw cheese. Went to help with their acne. Yeah, big time. Try the raw cheese and see if it helps. You can get it at Whole Foods. And you can also get it at Kroger in their artisan cheese section. It says raw cheese. So you just ask and they'll get it for you. All right. Yes, it's always labeled raw, Marcy. Yep. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. You're welcome. You're welcome, Erin. Feel better. Okay, bye.